Alright, I'm back at it again. I'm going to change the air conditioning compressor clutch magnet. So let me explain the chain of events that happened to get me to this point. The bearing was going out on the air conditioning compressor pulley. I let it go and let it go. I ordered the parts and I just didn't have time to get to it, so I let it go to the point where it seized up. When it seized up, apparently it took the magnet out with it. I had the magnet out already. I already changed the pulley. But when I put the new magnet, I put the new magnet, pulley, and clutch on, and I couldn't get the air conditioning compressor clutch to work. So I figured it was the new magnet was just bad. I changed it back out with the old one, put the car back together. I needed to drive the car, so I was going to drive it without air conditioning for a while. So I started looking in, and I had a rough idle after all that. So I took it to Advanced. They read the codes for me, and it said I had a p1633 code. That is save or stay alive memory, and that is run off of this fuse right here, which is also the fuse for the air conditioning compressor. So what I believe happened is whenever the pulley seized, it took out the magnet, it blew the fuse. Then I changed everything, couldn't get it to work, found the fuse was bad. After the fact, it was all back together. I changed the fuse. It blew again, and I started the car with the air conditioning on, so it apparently blew right away. So then I still had the rough idle, so I was troubleshooting the rough idle. That's when I found that fuse blown again. And I changed that fuse with the air conditioning off. It idled perfect, or back to its normal. Then I figured out that once you turn the air conditioning compressor on, it blows that fuse again. So last night, I have some footage of it. I disconnected the magnet and tested it. It had 14 volts. With it off of there, it does not blow that fuse. I put the new magnet I have, I hooked it up, just set it here, and turned the air conditioning on, which it didn't actually operate the air conditioning system, but it did have that in the magnet in line with it. So if the wiring were an issue, it would have still blown the fuse, which it didn't. So I've pretty much narrowed it down to that magnet that is currently in there, which is the old magnet, is bad, and I'm sure that happened whenever the pulley went out, that it just destroyed the magnet too, because it's full of metal flakes and chips and stuff. I'll show it to you once I get it out, but that's what I'm doing this morning. It's now I believe it's 8:15. I'm going to see how long exactly this takes me to get all this done, as far as dropping the engine down out of here and getting to that. I have another video that shows how I replaced the clutch and the magnet and everything last time. If you want to watch that, I'll put a link in the description down below. But I am going to basically get this pretty much changed, and then I will be back with you with the results, because I already have a video on how I replaced that AC compressor clutch. So as soon as I get that magnet changed out, I'll be back and I will let you know the results. Thanks. Alright, it's 2 in the morning. This is some of the troubleshooting I'm doing because of this fuse right here blowing, giving me the p1633 code. It is a stay alive memory code. So anyways, I changed the AC compressor clutch, and then I had all these issues. Actually, I had all the issues before it. I'll go into more detail later, but right now what I'm doing is I have the old AC compressor magnet, this thing, on the car because I thought this was bad, and that's why the AC compressor wasn't working. But I believe it was because this fuse was blown when I had that installed, so I replaced it with the old one. Now it keeps blowing that circuit breaker, or that fuse. So what I have right now is the Cannon plug disconnected for the magnet, and the car shut off right now. I'm going to start. I have already hooked this up, and it doesn't blow the fuse or blow that fuse anymore. I just hooked it up right here, not actually installed it. But I have this into the Cannon plug. I am going to start the car and get the reading without the AC on, and then I'm going to turn the AC on and make sure that it's getting 12 volts. I'm just trying to isolate this problem to get the AC working again. And okay, so 0.5 volts DC, 12 volt system, DC system. So when I go to turn this AC on, I should be reading somewhat near 12 volts AC on my meter. 14 volts. Okay, so it has power going to it now, I know that. So I believe it is the old magnet that's installed. So tomorrow I will be changing that. And that fuse is still good. So I believe that old magnet that I reinstalled is the issue behind all of these problems I'm having. And like I said, I'll go into that more when I have it torn apart in the morning. Alright, I'm back. I got the old one out. This is what it looks like. This is what the new one looks like. And this is what the old one looks like. It's in pretty bad shape. But I thought that one didn't work, so that's why I ended up doing this, switching it back out to the old one. Anyway, I tested the resistance on it, and this is going to be really hard for me to get on film. Let's see if I can get. That's at 0.4 ohms. The new one, well, the new one's at 0.5. I'm not sure if I showed you in last night's video, or at 4. .8, 3.7. So there's a huge difference between the two. So hopefully this will be a good fix. So I'm going to install it, and then I will be right back. Alright, I'm back once again. It is now 9:27. I had a phone call that took me 15 minutes, so I did this in under an hour because I started originally at 8:15. I got a phone call shortly after that, 15 minutes, and it's 9:27 now. So here's what we have. Air conditioning's off. Start up the car. It idles normal. Circuit breaker is not blown, or the fuse is not blown at this point. Still idling normal. Feels like we have air. AC compressor clutch is now spinning. Fuse is not blown. turn the air off and we'll make sure it stops like it should. It does feel cooler in the car already. Clutch is stopped. So, I guess if you have that p1633 code, or a variety of the issues that I explained earlier, you should probably look into that magnet, because there's really not that much in the air conditioning system that could short out. So that's a good fix. I'm back in business, and I have air conditioning since it's about 90 degrees. I don't know, it's been right around 90 for the last couple days. It's cooled off a little bit, but it's still hot. My wife drives this car during the day. I drive it during the night, typically, to work and back. So she needs air, or she just won't drive it. She'll drive her Explorer, and that gets 16 miles a gallon, where this is averaging, let me see here, 22.6, which not too bad. It's been up around 25, but I don't know, I probably need to do a tune-up. So there you go. Hopefully you don't have all these issues that I had, but if you do, now you can know how to fix them. Thanks.